Okay, so why don't we begin? Today is February 1st. This is the February 1st meeting of the Wakefield Commission on Disability. A reminder that this meeting is being recorded. We are calling the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. And Lois, there you go. Thank you. We will pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The Commission's mission statement is to address the needs and concerns of our disabled residents and provide their full participation in the activities and services of Wakefield. Seeing no public participation, we are going to move on to the approval of the minutes from January 4th. Does someone want to make a motion to approve those meetings?
I'll approve them.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Motion passed. Those meetings of January 4th are approved. Lois, any new money in the financial account? No? Okay.
No change.
So I was going to originally suggest, if Bill had been on the phone, that we move up the discussion regarding the ADA transition plan. But since he is not on the phone, I guess we will just go in the order that we have on the agenda at this point. So Maeve and Paula, would you like to provide an update on the website? I see smiles. That's making me nervous.
It's going well. It's going well. No, I just didn't want to interrupt Paula if she started talking. No, it's good. I have like a draft made and Paul's edited it. Yeah, it's getting there. It took a little bit more work than I thought because I was like, I want to make sure that it's tailored to how you can actually use the services, not just like what's up with them. But yeah, it's good so far. If you wanted to add anything, Paula, I can remember.
Yeah, no, it's great, and we've had some good conversations about different sites and if they're helpful, and obviously Maeve and I come from a little bit different perspectives, so that's helpful. I think we're just going to add some of the some of the agencies that specifically support Wakefield on there. And then I think my hope is what do you think, Maeve? Like a week, 10 days?
Yeah.
We'll have it ready to go.
Where is this listed?
I can send it out. I think we were just drafting it, and then when we were done with the draft, we wanted to send it out to you guys, but we can send it out earlier if that's helpful.
I just wanted to see because I have another place I'm thinking about adding.
Absolutely. And what were you thinking?
I don't have the literature with me.
Yeah.
I mean, here at the moment, but there's another place that deals with all the towns around and what they can do for people with disabilities. So I was just going to add that.
Yeah,
So,
and we can just send it out and everyone can edit it. That works.
Okay.
And I'm going to pause us for a minute. Hi, Sherry, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was a few minutes late trying to print things out.
Not a problem. I was going to pause because we just had someone join, and I thought from the public, and I was going to ask them to identify themselves. Looks like they may have dropped off.
No, that was me. I let someone else use my Zoom and I didn't realize her name was on there.
Got you. Okay.
That was me.
Not a problem. Okay, so getting back to the website. I don't know, I meant to send it all to you before this meeting and then I got caught up, but I don't know if anybody saw, if you've been on the Wakefield, just the town page lately, but they recently put a little video, the link is on the website, but it's a YouTube video and it's providing step-by-step instruction on how to use the COVID-19 Mass State Vaccine website. And I must say, it was very well done and it's very useful. And I think it might be worthwhile to post that on our website. It's just a little video because I've been, it's obviously in the public domain because it's out on the town webpage. And I just think it will be really useful because obviously a lot of people have been struggling lately, especially the older population, trying to figure out how to get themselves a vaccine. And I think that, this should be in as many places as we can put it so that people have access to it and can figure this out, because once you've gone through the video a couple of times, it really does sort of make some sense as to how to do this.
Yeah. I mean, especially with the rollout of the phase 2. I mean, so many of the people that we, so much of the community now will be able to be vaccinated, luckily. So yeah, that's great. And I see as well the parental safeguards that cover all sped loans. All right, thank you for sharing that, Lauren. I'll definitely add that and look at it. Thank you.
Okay.
We would hopefully see it as like a living thing that we could continue to add to.
Right.
We just wanted to get something to Jen, just because we know that the list can be exhaustive. But we want, to start with something up there and then kind of add as we are able.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome once it's done. I think that will be a really great resource, especially with a lot of the local resources on it.
I sent Maeve the parental safeguards from DESE, which
Yes.
if you don't know what DESE is, it's the Department of Education. And that document, if anyone has children in special education, they know that document really covers all the laws pertaining to special education that would affect parents. So I think it's a good one hit, that covers a lot. It would be one link that would cover many different areas.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so our next item on the agenda was the we wanted to continue the discussion with Intelligent Lives so we can figure out how to get this moving. And Paula had sent out a couple of links. One was to the flyer and the other was a little synopsis. And Paula, I was curious, can we view Intelligence Lives as a committee before we go live with this?
Absolutely. I think I could bring it into one of the meetings, or I could set up a Zoom and kind of off of the town site, and we could watch it. Yeah, I don't think that would be a problem.
Yeah, because I just feel like it's hard for me to envision what this panel and everything should look like without having seen it.
Makes sense.
I don't know, does anybody else have any input? And if anybody else has any recommendations of what the panel should look like, let's talk about that. How we feel that this should look. Obviously, we're going to be on Zoom. Paula's going to show the film. How long is it approximately? Do you recall?
It's like an hour, a little over an hour.
Okay, so then we would want to have a little bit of discussion beforehand, saying some things. And then after the film, we obviously want to have discussion, and you know, I think it's probably more the after the film, who is it that we should be bringing in? Or do we even want to bring anybody in? Do we want to just show the film and let the audience comment?
I think that might be helpful for everybody on the commission to view the film first,
Right.
to get a better idea about the film. And then I think then it might give a better idea about a panel, pros and cons, maybe. That's just my thoughts, because it's been a while since I've seen the film now. I would like to relook at it prior to us probably showing it to the public. Is there a way that we can, view it sometime this month so that
Yeah,
we really discuss it in our March meeting?
yeah, I agree with you. That was what I was thinking too. Can we convene as a commission to view this? And does it have to be, do we have to announce it as a public meeting? I don't know those rules, so
Read there.
I may need to check in with Sherry on that.
Paula, is there a discussion guide that goes with the movie?
Yeah, yep.
You
I
sent
think I
that out.
sent it out.
Yeah.
I can send it out. Again, yeah, it's a pretty lengthy discussion guide. I think, my thinking was maybe we'll pick like 2 or 3 of the topics, because I think there's like 12 to discuss. I think the other piece is like, who is our audience? Is it mostly parents? Is it
Right.
mostly professionals? Is it people with disabilities? I feel like that really will kind of shape it as well. But I don't know, how we're going to advertise or how we're going to gather that information ahead of time.
Hi, everybody. I made it. Sorry. I don't know
Hi,
if anybody got
Darcy.
my email. I was stuck in another school committee related meeting. I'm out.
Good.
Glad you're here, Darcy.
Thanks.
Darcy, so just to quickly bring you up to speed, Paula and Maeve are putting the finishing touches on the website, our website for the town.
Okay.
And now we're just having the discussion about the Intelligent Lives video. And we were saying we would like to view it ahead of time, because it's, at least for me, it's been kind of hard to get my head around what topics we want to discuss and what type of panel we may want to have without having seen it. I have a sense of what it's about, but I really would like to see it. So one of the questions is, and maybe you know the answer to this, can we view it as a committee? If we wanted to pick a night within this month to just view the film, can we do that outside of the public, having to post that? Like, does the school committee have meetings, which I think they do, offline from the public, or everything has to be, so you guys cannot meet
No.
without it being public?
But I don't, no, that everything is, it's public meeting because I don't know about these committees, but I bet it all has to be.
I would think that it does all
Right.
fall under.
I don't know if we're allowed to have. I don't know.
All right.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Subcommittee meetings. Do subcommittee meetings actually get recorded and filmed on the?
All the notes are taken and have to be submitted. They aren't filmed. Like, no, it doesn't have to be filmed, but I think someone has to take notes maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, no, they aren't recorded. Our subcommittee meetings are not recorded,
Okay, so,
but maybe because it's a subcommittee and not a full committee, but we could watch, I don't know.
Yeah, all right, so we need to get clarification, because
Yeah.
I agree with Lorna, I don't want to have to wait another month
No.
to do this. I would like us to be able to see it, have some discussion about how we want to move forward and be ready to go.
Well, who's
So that-
seen it on the committee? I know obviously Paula,
I
but,
have
okay, because maybe it's,
years ago though.
oh, okay. But maybe it's a smaller group that does it and comes up and then shares out or something. I don't know. Maybe if it's not the whole committee, then we can do it.
And the only problem with having it recorded and on the WCAT like this meeting is then people will actually see it and
Oh, yeah, we don't want it recorded.
don't-
Yeah,
But that's gonna be a problem, because in order to get a Zoom meeting like this from the town, well, no, I guess maybe not. Polly, you could probably set up a Zoom
Yep.
meeting through a Communitas. Okay,
Yep.
so then we just need to find out if we can meet outside of the formal meeting and view it. So I'll call Sherry tomorrow or send her an email tonight to understand what we can and cannot do, so we're not breaking any rules.
Maybe we can watch it, each of us watch it together or whatever, but just not have any discussion about it. Maybe that would, not be as restrictive. Because usually when it's a meeting like this, we're having discussions back and forth about things, but maybe if we just have a Zoom set up where we watch the film and then set up for our next meeting to discuss it.
I will get the details and we will figure that out.
The thought.
I can ask her too if you want me to, because I have to send her the minutes anyway. Did you guys approve the minutes?
yes.
Yes, we did.
So I'll send Sherry the minutes after this, so she posts them. I could ask
Okay.
her then. Want me to ask her then?
Yes, would you mind? And just ask her what options do we have? We want to be able to view this so that we can set up this. And the reality is we may need to meet in between our regular monthly meetings just to pull this off. We have a Facebook page that was set up for us. And that's probably going to be a good place where we can advertise this. But there's all the logistics that's involved with putting it up there. I think we had also set something up where we were able to do registration. But somebody had done that for me, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to pull that off by myself. So where's Maeve? Maeve.
Yeah, I could totally send.
If you and I get together and I share that with you, maybe you can, if you feel comfortable, take the ball and run with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You probably can do it a lot. Probably have a much better understanding of it than I do.
Yeah, I've had a year of college events being online, so yeah,
There you go.
everything.
That's right. All right, so let me make myself a note to get with Maeve and share that. I'll share the password and all. So that, and then we'll figure it out from there. Okay. As I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, we had an agenda item to discuss the ADA transition plan that Bill Renault was working on, but he is not on the call. And I really wanted him to provide an update. So what I recall of our conversation is that, and I'm going a little bit out of order here, is that he had an opportunity for a grant and he needed to get all this information in before the end of January. And part of the grant will require him going out to the public to get input regarding issues, mobility and other types of issues in town that that need to be identified. And then this grant the grant will have funding for him to put a plan in place as to how these issues are going to be resolved, whether it's ADA issues or whatever other kind of issues that may be identified. And he had asked me who some of the stakeholders would be that he should be going out and speaking to. Obviously, he's already familiar with the assisted living facilities in town, and organizations like that. And he shared with me the town of Concord that he worked for previously had done such a plan. And they had organizations such as the ARC, and we have Communitas, and he was not familiar with all of these organizations. So I asked Paula to put together some information as far as one. I thought we should go out to the group homes and other such facilities here in town. I know that at the head of the lake, there's an organization for, I think it's gentlemen who are recovering from addiction. We need to identify all those different groups as stakeholders so that Bill can get this survey out to them so that we get, a lot of good input for him to incorporate into this plan. So I would ask.
Interrupt for one second, sorry.
Sure.
Which agenda item are you on?
I'm on the discussion on ADA
Okay.
transition plan.
Yep, I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, I skipped the banner for a
Okay.
minute just because I had Bill on my mind. So hopefully he'll be able to make the next meeting. I'll connect with him to see if he can. But just maybe start thinking about different organizations that you are aware of. I know there are the groups, some of the day programs that are here in town that provide services to, individuals with developmental disabilities. So it would be all those folks that we would want to reach out to.
Yeah, and I think we would want to target it to specific people. So that would be my question for Bill. I think too, we want to include like the mental health population, like the Department of Mental Health and Elliott and Riverside. I know they have group homes in Wakefield. But I would want to definitely target it at us, like, at a specific person. I would be wary of just like sending it to an agency, just because then it depends on who gets it, who fills it out. And I think, if you had like whoever was in charge of that group home or whoever spent a lot of time in the Wakefield community, I think would just have a lot different perspective than, somebody who wasn't providing that direct care.
Right, that's what, so it would be the mental health facilities, those that support intellectual disabilities. We would want to address mobility issues. So that might fall under the aging population. So the
Senior
and
housing.
then just seniors in general. So the senior housing. And I think it's those groups he's familiar with. It was
Gotcha.
the other groups that he, that he doesn't have a familiarity with.
And I'm not too sure, maybe Lois can speak to this. I mean, I certainly can speak to the deaf part of it. There's no actual organization here in Wakefield that, has a specific goal to be working with deaf and hard of hearing people. But certainly there are people in Wakefield that are deaf. And I think that's probably the same thing with a vision disability. Is that not true, Lois, that there's no specific agency?
I'm not really sure of the vision one, although I should be. But I was listening to what you people were just saying, and you talked about going to some of these places. But is that getting into a privacy issue? I mean, you just can't. maybe I have this all wrong or looking at it wrong, but my thought is if you send out things to some of these places that have people that are in some of these, let's say, homes, isn't that kind of interfering with?
Well, it would be a survey, Lois. We would be
Oh.
sending a survey
Okay.
to in the caregivers, basically, right? That take these folks around
Right,
and that are able to speak to the challenges that they may face as they're just trying to get around town.
I do know of, I don't know if you've heard of the Verizon House on Water Street.
Horizon House, right?
Horizon House.
right.
Horizon House, yeah.
And those are
I
folks,
have-
Paula, correct, with mental illness?
Yeah, it's
Or
Right.
Mental health
Yeah.
issues?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay, so right.
exactly.
And
I-
those
we have-
exactly would be the organizations we would want to be
Right.
giving to Bill so that he can target.
And I think
We-
that the organizations would actually really appreciate it. I know from an organizational standpoint, we're often advocating for like a crosswalk on Audubon Road because people go down that like it's
Mhm.
nobody's business. Or
Right.
when we were in
Right.
Reading, we had
Right.
like three people had tripped in the same area on the sidewalk. So we worked with the town of Reading to make
Good.
that more accessible. So I'm
Right.
sure that the people who are kind of out and about daily, have a good idea of where those things are and could probably
Right.
make it easier for Bill, and then, and
Yeah.
making it a little bit easier, then he knows what the issues are and can start to address them.
Right, exactly. And I'm sure he's going to do, use the media to get the word out too. But I think
Right.
if we can give him specific organizations and he can specifically target them,
Right.
I think that he might have a better response than just putting it in the paper and hoping someone, excuse me, sees it and responds.
I know
Well-
we had, my husband and I had gone, Dan and I had gone to the Verizon House because there were so many people that were out, that had no place to go, but they can't really do anything about that. But they do have programs, I want to say, at the Verizon House.
And I think they have housing. I think there is housing around town for
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
individuals.
there is some, but we, checked it out ourselves to see what they actually did, that type of thing. So,
Okay. So going back up, the next item on the agenda was the banner. And Levon, I wanted you to participate in this discussion. So last week, we talked about what the banner would say, and officially, we are the Wakefield Commission on Disability Issues. But we agreed that we want to drop the issues piece from the banner and just say Wakefield Commission on Disabilities, which brought up the question of, can we do that when it's technically not the official name of the committee? And I gave this some thought, and so here's my position on that. The company I work for is Goodrich Corporation. That is their legal name. When we merged with Raytheon back in April, Raytheon created these divisions, and our division is called Collins Aerospace. We refer to ourselves as Collins to our customers in any kind of print literature, but legally, we can't sign anything Collins. We must sign Goodrich Corporation because that's the legal name. Collins is what they use for promotional purposes. Branding is how they refer to it. So my thought was, to follow that logic in this case, we can continue to be officially Wakefield Commission on Disability Issues, but when we set up our Facebook page, when we put together a banner, we just use Wakefield Commission on Disability. So that's, I believe, option number one. Or option number two is we just move forward and ask the town to change the name of the commission officially, if that is how we want to proceed. Hi, Los, go ahead.
Hi, but what I was gonna say is that would be something that the town councils people would have to get into, and or there's another, it's like you can't go over somebody's head by doing something.
Right, we'd have to follow the procedure, exactly.
Right.
We'd have to go to
Right.
the town council. I would talk, again, if Bill had been on the call, he probably could have given us some direction, but I would go to Bill if that's what we decide to do and say, we want to proceed with officially changing the name. We would probably have to write some official letter to the town council making the request. I don't know if it has to go before town meeting. I'm not sure
Possible.
what's,
I would say possibly, yeah.
right. So I don't know what's involved. I want to get a consensus from everybody as to, how you feel about it. Does it, do you feel strongly that we change the name, or do we just leave it as is and just, for branding purposes when we're out in the public or doing publications like Facebook, we refer to ourselves as the Wakefield Commission on Disability. Hi, Lorna.
Hi. Why can't we do both? I mean, can we set up the banner, branding the banner with just Wakefield Commission on Disabilities, and yet still have the name changed, get rid of the issues part? Because I don't know, that word issues really bothers me.
Right.
And I'd rather.
I agree with you, Lorna. I think the word issues there is problematic.
Yeah,
I don't like the word there. It just sounds negative.
yeah. I actually
Mhm.
never say it. I never say the word when I say I'm on this committee. I always say Committee on Disabilities. I never.
Yeah.
Word.
I mean,
Not
issues
new,
can be
but
good
I
or
always-
bad.
I know, yeah.
Issues can be good or bad, but for some reason I just associate it with negative.
Then let us take an official vote as to how we want to proceed. I believe that we can go ahead with the banner, and the Facebook page is already set up as Wakefield Commission on Disabilities.
I don't know that I would go that way.
All right, so let us take a vote on how we feel. Darcy, can you record this, please?
Yeah,
And so the question to the commission is, do you want to remove the word issues from the name of the commission? And Lorna?
Oh, are we voting?
Yes.
Oh, I was
how
just
do you-
voting.
I
Yeah,
think
you
you take a
vote.
motion.
I think we should do it individual. Lorna,
I'm for removing the word.
okay. Paula,
I'm for removing the word, but going forward with the banner and
Yeah.
other forms of publicity.
But I would.
go ahead, Lois. You
I'm
go ahead
sorry.
and vote. Yep.
I wouldn't go so far as to get the banner the way, because we haven't gone through the proper channels, I don't think. In
But
other
my
words,
question,
we can't- But I do agree that we possibly should do, I'm not sure about the banner yet, because it's not, we have to go by the steps. You can't just jump in. That's just how I feel. You just can't jump in and say, this is how we're gonna do it.
okay, so do you want to change the name formally?
Yes,
Are you comfortable with that? Okay, but you're
I
saying you
do
don't want to do the
do it
ban,
right
you
now.
don't think we should do the banner until the name is formally changed?
Right.
Okay,
That's
All right,
I-
we'll record it. I will find out. I will find out if that's gonna be an issue or not. Okay, so we had Lorna, Paula, Lois, Darcy.
Yes, I would like to remove issue. And in terms of the banner, to me, there's no rush in the banner. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
Maybe we can accomplish this and then,
Oh, be positive. Maybe we are going somewhere in the spring.
Yeah, maybe farmer's market.
Yeah, you never know.
oh
Levon,
yeah, the farmers, yeah.
Levon, your official vote is
I would vote to remove it, yes.
okay. Sherry
Yes, vote to remove.
and Maeve?
Yes, I also vote to remove.
Okay, and I will go along with the consensus and agree to remove the name. So now the next step will be I'll connect with Bill Renaud and find out find out what we need to do to move forward, and we will begin to move forward with that. And I'll also ask him if there's going to be any issue if we wanted to do publications like a banner prior to that happening, because if we have to wait till town meeting, that will be sometime in the spring.
How long does it take for them to create the banner?
Oh, probably not very long at all. It's probably going to depend on the workload, right? And what else they have there at the time. So we'll move on this to talk with Bill. And the other piece of this is we are probably going to have to provide justification in writing as to why. So if you would please start documenting that in your head,
Sure.
because we're probably going to have to pull something together to officially give to the town. Yes, Lois?
We were watching the Cultural Council, and they want to do something similar to what we want to do, as far as possibly dropping one of their words. Cultural, call it like the Arts
Arts Council.
Arts Council.
Because they're getting confused with.
They're
the
getting
Albion Street
confused.
Cultural-
They're getting confused with the
Albion Street.
Albion
Albion.
Street.
Yeah, Albion Cultural Exchange, I think it's
Right.
called.
So
So it
this
might
is
be a nice time to jump on with them.
jump on with them.
Yep,
We were watching that and we saw that and we said to each other, this is what I should bring up, if that was okay with you.
Yeah.
So we could do it like together. So it's a one time for whoever we have to go to.
right, because it's probably it may have to go to the town council / attorney
Right,
to make this
Yeah.
happen, so he can do it all at once. Okay,
Thanks for adding him too. Tom Mullen.
yes, I think he's probably going to have to weigh in on this.
What's the name of the other group that's looking to change their name?
It's the Albion, oh, wait a minute, no, it's the
Cultural Council.
Cultural Council.
Want to be called the Arts Council.
Okay,
And because they're being confused with the Albion Street Cultural Center, and people don't know the difference between it's two separate.
yeah,
So it might be a good time to jump on with them where you got two
Yeah.
different groups that want to change the name. And maybe it's as simple as just going to the town council and saying, okay, or then it might be as complicated as going to town meeting.
Right,
But it's simple if you just go to the town council first.
all right, we will find that out.
I'll go to them too.
And so along similar lines, the goals and bylaws that we had spoken about at the very beginning of this season with Lois, who's the gentleman from Boston? Sorry, I've forgotten his name.
Jeff.
Jeff Dugan.
Jeff Dugan, right. So when he came out, he talked to us about goals and bylaws. And then when we spoke with Bill Renaud, and I looked through some of the other goals and bylaws for other commissions in town, it's pretty general and vague. And, you know, Bill seems to feel that what we have is sufficient. And I again want to get a consensus from folks as to how you feel about this. My personal opinion is if what we have is working, we can set we can certainly set goals each year that we want to accomplish within the year. And you know, they'll be recorded officially in these meeting minutes. If we, you know, if we want to follow the process that Jeff had outlined, then it is going to be a lot. And we're going to have to sit down and we're going to have to write bylaws, etc. My preference is not to do that. I'd rather spend our time doing things like Intelligent Lives and whatever other items we identify as a commission. But, you know, that's just my opinion. So how do other people feel about that? And again, Darcy, this should be an official vote.
Yeah. So I think we have to vote, right? So vote to keep, somebody can make a motion for us to keep our current goals, the goals and bylaws.
Yes, all right. So to make a motion to keep the current goals and bylaws as they are currently written in the town document. And Darcy, I'll get you the official name of that document so that you can record it in these notes.
All right.
I'll
So
look it
Marie,
up.
you just make the motion?
Yes,
A motion.
I second it.
and then I think we need to vote individually.
Yeah.
So
Roll call. Try to do
Yeah.
it?
Lorna is a yes.
Yes.
Darcy,
Yes.
Levon,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's Paula, okay.
Yes.
Lois. Okay,
Yes.
Sherry, maybe be on mute.
Nope, yes.
Okay, very good. Did I miss anyone?
Yeah.
Maeve.
I
Oh, Maeve, sorry. Okay, is there any discussion? I mean, did people want to discuss this in further detail? I'll
No,
take.
you're supposed to do the discussion before the vote.
Oh.
No
We're
discussion.
learning as we go along.
We discussed this last week, last meeting
Yeah.
too. It's
Yeah.
just that the full committee wasn't
Wasn't
here.
here, so we
Right.
couldn't vote on it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And the only other item I have that wasn't on the agenda, but Maeve had sent us out a link to the March 4th Disability Summit. I didn't take a look in detail at that. Maeve, is there a limited number that can participate from this commission, or can everybody go? Or go, it's online, right? So participate if they want to. Do you know?
Yeah, I would imagine everyone can come. Yeah, the link the email that I sent was just that it was saying to me that I am already signed up and that it's just this date. But I believe if you look up like mod conference March 4th, you should find link to sign up again if you didn't already.
Okay, so
What hours on that day? I know it's a
Yes,
Thursday.
It's a Thursday, 9 to 1.
Mm,
Yeah, kind of tricky hours.
yeah.
hmm I mean, I'm hoping though it's online. You can pop in and out.
and maybe you right now, it's your intention to attend?
Yes.
Okay, so we will put that on the agenda for the April meeting. And whoever chooses to attend, we can, you can, give your feedback. and some of the information that you feel that you took away that you thought might be useful. Is there any other topics that folks would like to discuss? Because we've kind of run down our list.
Well, are we going to pick another time so that we can watch this film?
Yes, well, you know what? Let me get to Sherry, or actually Darcy's going to talk to Sherry to see what our options are. And Darcy, maybe once you've done that, you can send out an email, and then we can figure out, a time that works for everybody. Are Monday nights at 7 the best for people, or?
Yeah, that's pretty good for me. I don't know about others.
That'd be
It-
fine.
It's good for me, except for I have another commitment on the second Monday of the month, but the third and fourth Monday is okay.
All right, well, so let's try to, if we are allowed to do this, let's try to get it done. So this,
The
let's see.
15th?
So the 8th doesn't work for you, Lorna. Hold on, the 15th, something in my head says that's not good for me.
That's President's Day. It's in the beginning of February vacation. I'm actually hopefully going to be away.
Oh, yes, okay. Let's see.
What about the 22nd?
But the 22nd might work.
Sure. And you know what? That might be really good because that'll be fresh in our minds. And our meeting, it'll be the following week.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Does that all sound tentatively good for folks?
You say the date again, please, Mary?
It's Monday, February 22nd.
February 22nd, sure, okay.
And this is for,
This will be to view the
Intelligent.
Intelligent Lives video, assuming that we can do that outside of our, without having to record it. If we just have to take notes of what we did that night, that's fine.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm pretty sure we can do it. I think we just have to let Sherry know. We have to have an agenda, which we can just use our typical format. That'll be the only agenda item. And then I think that I think that's it. Because our subcommittee, the only issue is going to be if it's the whole committee. That's the only thing. I just have to find that out, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to find that out. And, explain to her the purpose, the reason why we don't want it to be recorded is because we don't want the video,
Yeah.
to be viewed at this time. We won't,
And we need Paula though, because Paula, you have to play the video for us. So I would say if you
Right,
didn't
right.
join, then.
And I think there were licensing requirements when we had thought about putting it on WCAT, that we couldn't do that because of the licensing requirements.
Yeah.
Because Communitas holds the license,
right.
but it's not for mass distribution, just for education.
Paula, is it a link to the film, or do you have an actual CD of the film and you're gonna play it and we're just gonna all watch in?
Yeah, I don't think that the Intelligent Lives website has some like snippets, but it's saved on our like server at Communitas, and so I can access that. And so my thought was that I would just play it. It would definitely be much easier if everybody could just kind of watch it on their own time, but I just
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what I was gonna
I don't know
say.
the logistics of how to make that
If you
happen.
could put a link in an email to all of us, and then we can just click on the link to get to the film.
Yeah, but it's on a secured server.
It is, okay, that's, I wasn't sure,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, does anybody else have anything else?
What time did you call the meeting to order?
7:02.
Yes, go ahead, Lorna, 7:02.
Okay,
Can I get
Sure,
permission
Lois? Yeah,
for Dan to talk for a second?
sure.
If that's okay with you?
So Dan will be part of our public participation.
Yes.
Dan
Just-
Benjamin, how are you?
I'm doing great. Bad night out there, but I'm doing great. Just for the naming of the commission, I just want to read off a couple of names of the surrounding towns, their commissions. And the only difference, and I love the word Commission on Disability or Disabilities issues, we're the only ones that have a name like that. They have Beverly Commission on Disabilities, Danvers Disability Commission, Lynn Disability Commission, Manchester by the Sea Disability, Marblehead Disability Commission, North Reading Commission on Disabilities, Salem Commission on Disabilities, Saugus Commission on Disabilities, and Wakefield is the only one that has Commission on Disabilities issues. So I think it'd be a good name change to go to without the issues. And the only difference is the plural disability or disability.
Okay, and we can,
And plus that meeting on March 4th, Lois and I went to a couple of those, and they're a great way of networking with other commissions around the area. Too bad you couldn't do it live, but
I know.
they used to have a nice little luncheon right in between too.
And, so thanks for that, Dan. So I'm wondering, Maeve, if you attend or whomever attends on March 4th, would we want to communicate to the other commissions in the area that we're doing the Intelligent Lives? What
Great,
do you
great.
think of that?
Be
Yeah,
great.
Absolutely. Yeah, if I get in a breakout room, I'll plug
We
it.
had networked with the commission in Stoneham, and funny thing there is that all the commission members in Stoneham also were producers for the cable access TV station there. And when we were there, they did a
CD.
small little piece, and I don't know if it was like Marion Ryan was there on scams for elderly, or they made a little presentation on that. But we were there during that meeting, and they gave us a DVD. And
Yeah.
but that was the networking between the different commissions around town.
Right. Yeah.
May-
it might
Maybe we
be-
could send, oh, go ahead,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was wondering if maybe we should send an invitation out to those surrounding commissions, inviting them to the Intelligent Lives viewing.
To watch it.
Yeah, excellent idea.
Do we have their email addresses?
I have a booklet with some of them. I don't know. This is from 2019. It's
I'm
got
sure their
emails on it.
website- Yeah, I'm sure their website probably. has
Yeah,
it
they
listed.
probably do all have websites. We just need to know what towns to reach
Yeah.
out to.
We can do
It's got the
some calling.
websites and telephone numbers, but
Okay.
Well, if it has the telephone numbers, I could
Yeah.
call.
no, it's
If it
easier
has-
emails.
No, I can call to get their emails.
We got their emails.
There?
Okay. Okay, anything else? No, okay, if not, we will, I guess, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, there you go. So we're joining the meeting at 7:55 PM. Well, it was good to see you all.
Yes.
Stay well.
Yes.
Be
We'll
safe.
wait. We'll wait to hear from Darcy on Sherry's ruling, and then we will set up a meeting for the 22nd at 7 PM.
Right.
Great. It's always nice to see all of you.
Take
And Lois,
care.
I didn't forget about reaching out to you and Dan. Oh,
Okay,
okay. Thanks.
All right, all. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
thank you.
Stay safe, stay
Bye.
warm.